Originally, this was going to be a short, but I am re-recording this in landscape, so more of you can see this custom, and more importantly, less of you feel inclined to break the bank picking up the new set. We all know the one I'm talking about. So as you can see, just like everyone else right now on the internet, we will be using the CMF from the Marvel Series 2, I think, CMF line of minifigures, as this is, I think we can all agree, hands down, the best Captain America minifigure that LEGO have made to date. Sam Wilson in the new movie, I don't think has the same printing that we see at the end, or the same suit design that we see at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we're only going to be taking a few parts from this minifigure in upgrading our Sam Wilson Captain America that we see in Brave New World, and we get a few other minifigure designs on the other Lego sets that are being released. So we'll be going off the buildable figure for the wings, which are very similar to the wings you see on screen right now on this minifigure. We've also got the brick heads, which shows off some of that torso design that is supported by the actual Sam Wilson image on that buildable action figure. And then the brick head does give us that closer look at the brand new wings that LEGO have made for the Captain America minifigure, and they are the same on both the brickheads and the minifigure in the set. And then of course we've got LEGO's official minifigure design, which let's just say not everyone is pleased with. So from this minifigure, the first thing we'll be taking is the legs, purely because they are not only dual molded legs, which, you know, I'm a Star Wars fan. Anytime I see dual molded legs used in a licensed theme is really, really nice to see, because we don't get a lot of them. But we've also got side of the leg printing, which we've seen, you know, on C-3PO, but again, isn't too common over in Star Wars. As this is a CMF minifigure, I don't think LEGO would really do any better than this. They tend to go all out for these minifigures because you're buying literally only the minifigure rather than a set that the minifigure is accompanying. But to go with these legs, I'm going to bring in the Steve Rogers Captain America. There are a few different designs out here, but I think the torso gets the same idea across. And you'll notice that for both my Steve Rogers and for my Sam Wilson, the hands have been swapped out. I don't have that many red hands, and they're actually being used for my Vader lightsaber on my Tantive diorama. So we'll take two of them back so that we can use Steve's torso for this Sam Wilson minifigure. And a load of people in comment sections of various videos and posts online have said about taking the arms across as well, which, if you are into printed arms and it's a must for the minifigure, definitely take the arms off this CMF here. And there are probably a few others that would work well as well. But as we're not seeing any of this white on the top half of our latest Sam Wilson, I will be keeping the regular arms for this minifigure. Before we get onto the wings, because there are a few things I would like to talk about. For the head, we can go and take the CMF version, but again, we've got that white mask all around the face, and I just don't think that represents the newer version very well. So I'm going to take one of the older Falcon minifigures. Again, there are a ton of different head pieces here, but it gives us that dual-sided face with the red glasses that I am yet to see an image of Falcon not wearing. So we're going to pop the head of this Falcon. Again, should have red legs, I believe, but I must have needed them somewhere, and put this onto our minifigure. And as for the hairpiece, we can get into helmets, and that is a whole nother discussion after the wings. But I'm going to take the one from the CMF. It does reveal the back of the head, but we're going for the best minifigure here, and you'll just have to keep it facing forward. The back of the wings isn't necessarily too pretty anyway. And speaking of the wings, there are really only two contenders here. We've got the CMF design, which you've probably all seen. We all know, we all love it. It's a mold that I do believe has only been used for these wings, this middle bit here. Lovely printing on it. It makes sense LEGO wouldn't remake these wings here in the middle, but it is interesting that they haven't used the same printed elements on the side. The elements exist. The elements themselves have been used for Red 5 on the back here and the two wings at the side. Why they didn't print them, it's an odd choice. I guess it's to keep the bricks as bricks. So if you want to remove the stickers, you have that choice. But here is a mock-up of the brand new wings, and I think these look super cool on the brick heads, but I don't think they match the minifigure at all. Now, if we take our Sam Wilson here, and he's going to be deheaded a bit throughout this portion of the video, so I do apologize for that, but you can see the wings actually go down to, well, to pretty much Sam's kneecaps, and that's just not how we see, even on the buildable minifigure, that's not how we see the wings. Now, I understand Lego is a bit bulkier than anything in a life-size scale, so the wings aren't actually going to be this big. But I think this wedge piece here is really unnecessary when it comes to building the minifigures, but it's not really the end of the world. It's just something I won't be carrying over into my own design. There's also another problem with the wings. They fold a little bit backwards, which is, well, it's more than this design back here, and I really like it just for that. But if you look at how much the wings actually fold, there's a lot more playability, and you can actually get them to flap with the previous design. The big problem is that just middle section is not going to budge whatsoever. So of course we are going to be taking the printed components from these wings, but I think we can actually improve the official Lego design before the set has even come out. So we'll be taking the wings back off, and instead of having these parts in the middle, this is the piece that Lego used to hold the wings together, which is a really smart technique, and props to the designer for pointing this out, because many people would just use the common hinge pieces. But I actually think these hinge elements here are a lot better for the playability of the wings, because what you'll notice when I line two of these up is the bar element actually sticks out further on the piece on the right than it does on the left, and it's not all that far. We're talking millimeters here, and I will try to line these up perfectly so you can see just how far that difference is. But what it means is when there is an element clipped to the element that Lego use, you're only going to get that little bit of movement in it. We're looking at about this 30 to 60 degree range of motion, whereas when we use this element in the lighter gray, in fact, that's why I've got this other bar piece, because some of them don't always go together, but this is needed for the other side. You can bend it really as far as you want, and you're looking at more of a 240 degree of motion, maybe even a little bit more, but we do have tiles on this plate here, so it will be limited to a degree. So just quickly before I change the other side of the wings, you can see the wings are a bit longer and they stretch out almost as far as the older wings do. But the real reason I'm changing this is instead of just being able to move it, it's mainly in the front. What you'll see with the official Lego versions is that is the closest it can get to wrapping around Captain America's torso. Now, at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, we see him wrap himself in his wings so he can break through, I think it's a window. And that is what I want to recreate with these wings. And with my versions, you can actually get the wings rolled up a lot more than the official Lego version. So he can fly through the window and protect himself, even though he is wearing a suit of armor. I just think these wings are so much more efficient. And with the wings updated now to my design and taking the shield from the CMF minifigure, I think this is the perfect version of Captain America, or at least almost perfect, the closest I can get with my bricks. And there are definitely a few other changes you can make, like by flipping the bar element and clip element here and having them the other way around. Not only do you get a bit more security in the wings, but you can also get that angle that we were talking about with the CMF wings, which I think just looks better than having the wings sticking out directly in front. And you're still able to curl the wings round and protect Sam Wilson if he is making any surprise entrances, crashing through any windows. And not only that, but because you have two spare clips on the back, you also have a place which I haven't tried before recording this section of the video, but you should be able to clip the shield on Sam's back just like so. It was a little fiddly, but it does work, as well as having Red 5 still attached, which I'm not sure if Sam will be doing at any point. I feel like the shield should probably be in his hand for most of the movie, but I think it's a really interesting design feature, and I'm really happy with how this minifigure turned out. So let me know what you think of it down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed watching this video that went on a little longer than a short. But let me know any design changes you would make to this video. Drop a like if you did enjoy, and may the bricks be with you always.